This is episode 164 of the Focused Mindset Podcast. Welcome to this episode. I'm Cher Kretz, and this is the podcast where you learn how to approach your life with a solution-focused mindset. And for the next 4 days, we're going to spring into action. And I'm going to give you some bite-sized tidbits to make sure that you can have exactly what you need to be your best self, not only in the next moment, but in the next season to come. And don't forget to jump over to the website, thefocusedmindset.com, to learn about our products and services. And I'm always going to leave all of our helpful links in the show notes, including my Instagram and all the places that we can chat. And if you picked up your copy of 30 Days to Higher Hopes, that is the writing journal that I created just for you, because I know that you want your journaling experience to be rich and exciting and help you towards your preferred future. So hop over to Amazon and get your copy of 30 Days to Higher Hopes today. Before my 10th grade year, I had been to 13 different schools. That means in 13 years, I had been in 13 schools. And we never managed to change schools or move at the beginning or the end of a school year. It always seemed to be smack in the middle. And as you can imagine, there's a lot that I learned from dropping into a school year in the middle over and over and over. I wouldn't recommend it, but this was the only life that I knew. And I learned how to have conversations and how to meet new people. I learned that every experience that I walked into was a blank slate, an unknown. These were things that served me well to become a great communicator. I had an open mind. I had ability to know that I left something behind and that this is a brand new situation. But I also found myself wondering if I will fit in, if people will like me, if I'll be able to keep up with the academics, if I'll have any friends at all. I had a lot of question marks walking into each new environment, and I had plenty of experiences where I had fear that things could go very wrong, because they had. Not everybody chose to be my friend in each situation, and each new place was like a new experiment, and sometimes it was an experiment that failed miserably. So I find myself wondering, but I was wondering with the complete opposite of a solution-focused approach. I was wondering with a fear in my heart that something might go wrong. It wasn't until I was in high school, after the 10th grade year, that I began wondering, what do I want for my adult life? And I had no idea where I would go as far as my career, but I knew one thing, that security was important to me. Staying in one place as much as possible is what I valued when I was 17, 18 years old. And as I moved through college, pretty soon I found myself in the career of my dreams as a school counselor, because I had dealt with so many different types of people in all of those years, as you can imagine, that it worked out perfectly for me to sit in front of people and communicate with them. I learned to listen to the people that are around me, because I had this deep need within me to help those that maybe felt the way that I did, out of place, constantly in an environment that felt uncomfortable. But as I began to help the kids, I began to see that they had the same wonders that I did. I wonder if I'll fit in. I wonder if I'll have friends. I wonder if I'll still have friends tomorrow. I wonder. As I began to learn the solution-focused approach, I realized that being full of wonder is extremely important, but how we wonder makes a big difference in our life. What happens if we entered into every new situation and we were wondering what instead of if? I wonder what is going on in their life. I wonder what I'm going to learn in this situation. I wonder what they're going to be doing. I wonder what is going on in those people's lives that I can learn about that will help me know them better. That shift in my thinking, I'll tell you what, it changed my counseling and it began to change my life as well. Because I began to listen with new ears when I was talking to people. But more than that, I began to walk into situations with a feeling of hope rather than a feeling of dread. Many adults walk into a new situation. I know that you have walked into a new situation. And if you're honest with yourself, you're asking all of those I wonder if questions that I was when I was a child and many times continue to as an adult. This quick podcast is to tell you that you can walk into situations with a sense of wonder and curiosity that can bring you to an elevated level of communication with people. It can help you look for opportunities to build connection rather than being in a place of scrambling to make sure that people see you or that you're not seen, one or the other, depending on the circumstance. I think that many introverts or people that just really don't care to talk about what's going on in their life get really good at asking as many questions as possible to the extroverts that they see around them or anybody that feels like talking about themselves so they can shrink away. On the other hand, many of the extroverts out there are the people that just tend to babble and talk about themselves, fall right into their trap and answer the questions, and they think, wow, these people really want to get to know me. And before you know it, a whole day of spending time with someone has gone by, and they find out that they don't know anything about the other person. Both people lose when they are in conversations with that in mind, because the introvert successfully was quiet but didn't share anything about them. And the extrovert, or just someone who loves to talk, fails to really do what they truly want in their heart, and that's to have connection. With this in mind, I realize that all of those situations that I walked into, brand new situations, time and time again, 13 different times during my entire childhood, it led me to a place of experimenting with conversations. And what I found is that people are interesting. I have so many memories that I value because of all of the diversity and the unique experiences, even the negative experiences. I can look back and say, wow, what an interesting dilemma that I was in. I find that it's enriched my life, that it's given me compassion, that it's given me curiosity in a whole new way. Even if I didn't realize that until I was an adult, the fact remains that we need to be curious in every new situation that we're in. We don't want to take our wonder and turn it into fear. We want to wonder about what could go right. And that takes a certain level of letting go of our inhibitions, even choosing to let go of the deep anxieties within our heart and saying, what am I most excited about this interaction here and now? And teaching our kids to do the same. I wonder what we're going to learn from this person, from this friend. What would they like to share? What's in their heart? What are they struggling with? What exceptions to their own dilemmas can I maybe bring out by asking them questions, and not just questions to keep them talking, but questions that help them think. The very first memory that I have of changing schools was when I was in kindergarten, and there was a horrible storm one night. I remember that night that trees were breaking all around. I lived in Seattle. And when I woke up in the morning, I found that we weren't going to school the next day. A tree had fallen and hit my kindergarten classroom. So the entire kindergarten department ended up being bused to a completely different school in a completely different part of town. And there we were with a whole new group of kindergartners and the teachers and everything in this very large room. They made it work. And I remember looking around and thinking, I don't think that I fit in here. But through time, I remember feeling confident about walking into that space. And I wonder if there are tragedies that happen in our life that make us move to a whole new environment, that we're framing it as something that we don't know if we can do, rather than looking at it as opportunity and knowing that we're going to find our own little place in that new environment. When I look back at all the different schools I went to, I'm thankful. I'm wondering if today you can look at all of the new things that you've been a part of, all the new things that you will be a part of in the future, and look at them with a new light. Look at them in a new, fresh way today. Because when you do, that's going to rub off on your entire family. They're going to see that you have joy walking into new situations rather than stress and fear. And it might help your ride there go better, your time getting ready better. Everything about your transition in life is going to be better when you choose to take a hold of your perspective. You begin to wonder what will happen next rather than wondering if. So I wonder how this episode has helped you. You can always reach out to me at share@thefocusedmindset.com. That's my email, and I'd love to hear from you. What is your earliest memory of change, and how do you think it affected your life? How about you journal about it? When we get in touch with who we are and why we are the way that we are, it helps us be a better adult and then a better parent and a better family member. If you'd like to share this episode, I want to give you full permission to do so. Sometimes just somebody pops in your mind and you hesitate and think, oh, I think they'd like to hear about it. Be true to your moment of choice and share the episode. I'm so glad that you joined me today. And until next time, stay solution focused. Before you go, don't forget to check the show notes where I'm going to leave the links to my social media and the different places you can find me. And I want to invite you to be a part of my email community. It's absolutely free, and this year I'm doing so much writing and so much reflecting, and I want to send things directly to you. I send the special notes to my email community, and you can email me right back. You have a direct line to ask me questions without any barriers of a website or anything. Check the show notes for that link or go to thefocusedmindset.com. And if you click on getting the journal prompts, you also automatically are able to be a part of my community. And if you're interested in supporting this program, there's 3 ways to do it. 1, make sure you're following this program so it comes up as one of your favorites. 2, share it either on your social media or with someone you love straight to their email. And the 3rd is to leave a review, and I love reading those. By supporting this program, we're helping people be solution focused. See you next week.